Warning, disaster incoming.
What is up, everybody? My name is Daniel. You know me online as Disaster Dan, and it's been a while. I have been sick. I've had holidays. I have had work, but now we are back. And today we're going to be doing budget beginnings, but we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. I have four lower deck starter decks to go through, and we're just going to go through them very quickly because I need to get to solo leveling since that's released recently as of today. Or today is the 12th, so released 3 days ago. So we're going to go through each of the four lower decks characters. I've only chose one character from each deck, and they're all still $15 upgrades and everything like that. And we're going to go over them very broadly for every deck. First, we're going to start with Boimler. I went with the face of the box by the book Ensign. He just has a lot of diplomacy in his deck. Really helps him out. I think drawing a card each attack is pretty good, even if you're still giving your opponent a card. And so some of the options I chose were things like Falling Heel Strike, and the reason why I chose like Falling Heel Strike is because Twin Twains is a really good card in this character. We get to play 3 of this because it's uncommon in the one deck. But your diplomacy cards now have 2 effects instead of 1. Falling Heel Strike will let you flip that so you can continue to use it more, so now more of your diplomacies have more effects, which is pretty good. So once you see a Twin Twains, Falling Heel Streak is always good. It also has other options. So, like, you can unflip your Desperate Plea, you can unflip your Special Assignment, and you can unflip your new training methods. But it's mostly there for Twin Twains. It's also Stun 1, which is really good. Rewind Throttle, it's target committal, which is really good. You don't have a lot of that on the life symbol, which is what I'm playing him on. And it's a 5/3 commit 1 rival card, draw 1, so it's a cycle. With your character is going to be a draw 2. It's really good. And then the rest of the attacks are just diplomacy cards because that's what we want in our character. We want to play diplomacy basically every turn, so the rival keeps committing stuff. You get the 2-star mission in the deck, 4 Hunt, 4 Moss. This is probably your best one. You're gonna make this a 7/7 with Twin Twains basically every turn. So, you keep playing 4 diff 7 low 7s. Those do a lot of damage. And then Punch Your Way Out. You get this as a 3 of uncommon. Commit 1 foundation, or they refreeze 1 commit foundation. Again, with Twin Twains, you'll get both of these effects. So it's a 3 high 5 that's going to commit 1 and then command another and then potentially freeze another, or other way around. Also has EX2, which is pretty good. This is our only momentum out in the attack lineup, so something to keep your momentum for. We're playing the Comm Badge and the Cerritos because I have the restriction of I want to play the URs in the deck so that you can play your nice shiny cards. And Cerritos is a secret rare in the decks. That's the first time they've done these with these characters. Is there's a 1 of secret rare. We're playing that as well. Replicator Enthusiast is really good. Any of your good foundations you get to have a second copy of. You have Twin Twains. You can make another one. A second any training method. The second Defend the Rear. A second Bold Boimler. Obviously it's really good. Now, as for the budget cards that I chose in the foundation lineup, we have Necessary Chain of the Big 3. We wanted just a destruction card, something to destroy foundations to keep us hostile with Deadlock. This card also gives you a damage, and if it says block, gain a health. So it's not like the worst rate, but really it is just there because we can't play something like Immoral Shapeshifter because that card's a little too pricey for this deck. Dangerous Combatant. This is flip draw 1 diff. You're a character that commits a bunch of stuff on your opponent's side of the board, so it's very for sure that you're gonna have this ability live, so you can draw the card. Fast Friendship, because we want speed 8. Desperate Please, one of the new cards in AOT2. This card's really good. When you get to block with a card, you get to build your that block face up or face down. Probably going to be our primary way of playing Cerritos. We're going to make this a big block and then build it down And then you get to on your next turn, you get to reveal the top cards. It's also like just really because again, it can do any assets, so you can do combats too. And then new training method. It's just a staple life card. 4 of. You want to see your twin twains, so you want if you check them, you want to add it back to hand. Ursa's Perseverance, just another momentum out. This is the other momentum out in the deck. Get the discard momentum to add any card you want from your discard out of your hand. Probably gonna be like a shoot them off for a 7/7, maybe a survey mission because this card can get get big damage. Card's also just a solid card. You can get your Replicator Enthusiast if you want like a second foundation built on the board. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of reasons you want to add this card to hand. Defend the Rear, does more speed hate. We were playing 3 Fast Friendship. Wanted to play this for a little bit more. Same reason for like Second Revelation, because this is a speed hate, but in a way of like if your -3s aren't doing enough, this card can just reset the board. And so you want to have a couple of those copies of that kind of idea. And then the rest of the cards are just cards in the deck. Banana Hot, you have a 0 diff in your deck. Mesmerizing Mission is fine. This card isn't like terrible. Like, giving Frenzy to your thing isn't the worst thing. Special Assignment, you have to play 4 of it because it's Diplomacy. You would want to play 4 Twin Twains, but you only get 3 in the deck. And then Bold Boiler would play 4 of. If you upgrade this deck more, you could get better damage things. But for the deck having this already in there, there's no reason not to. I mean, it's basically going to be 1 damage because you're only going to really give them a card off of this. Now, if they draw themselves, then this card gets a little better. But usually it's just, hey, I have a couple of these on the board and I play my Survey Mission. Okay, well now my Survey Mission is now like a 9 damage move. Well, potentially more because of his own ability. Definitely more because of his own ability, because when they draw 1 or more cards. So it's going to be actually like an 11 damage move. But yeah, that's it. Again, all these decks are still under $15 at the time that I built them. Now, if stuff's been bought out or stuff's gone up in price, I don't know. I built these like a month ago when these decks came out. I just couldn't record them because I wasn't feeling well. Next is Mariner. I went with the Mariner 2 in this build. Simply because I really like the idea of unflipping your cards to gain more value and flipping their best answers to your stuff. And also, it doesn't say non-throw, so this is basically a throw deck. There is some non-throws in here. It's basically, there's 7 throws, which is fine. Because we would play more throws, but we didn't have the budget to go over $15 to do that. So like Annie's leg sweep, it's just going to be a 6 damage move. If they have 3 or more face downs, become an 8 damage move. So that's going to be a 4 damage from a throw, and then you get to unflip your cool stuff. Dragon Strike, our ability wants to have 3 or more face downs. This helps us get that a little bit quicker. This card also is a momentum out, so when we're using all these throws and doing damage and getting the momentum, we have this to get us uses for it. Creepy Vine Interruption. This is a throw that if they block it, can also just get you a good block. So we are playing 2 Face Shield. Now this is a 3 mid, but this is an Omni block, so there's benefit to it. And as long as you can get like speed hate, this card can, stop throws, stop anything. You don't want to get dealt damage from something. On phases from the deck, this card's insanely good. Echo, basically see a rampage if they block it. Under the Influence is in the deck. We want our things to not be blocked. This card is block me in it, and you get hurt for it. Same with Hollow Escape. They want to block it, you get benefits off of it. Also in EX2, we have Powerful 2. We have a lot of momentum mounts in this deck. And then we're playing the UR and the secret rares. Or the secret rare, the assets, because that's what I'm sticking to. And yeah, I mean, this also doesn't say non-throw, so you can give your throw 2 damage, and when it does have, they're going to put a card in the card pool, which means if they block it, they put 2 cards in the card pool, which is pretty cool. I am playing Seizing the Advantage as an action in this deck. Again, we want your opponent to be at 3 face downs. This card speeds that up, gets your cards a little bit faster. You could go this into Dragon Strike, and you're already 2 of their face downs away, 2 face downs away from 2 face downs into getting the 3 damage. Yeah. Over the Foundations, playing Red Right's coolest. Just some extra damage for our throws. It's cheap. It's a quarter. Fierce Transformation, draw. If we hit with our throws, get a momentum, we don't have to discard a card. Horrifying Realization, it's just cycle, seeing more cards. Face Shield, Omni Block. Cooperation Offer, a -3 speed card, and also if you go against a VME deck, it does reset the zone back to printed, so you can fight VMEs that way. And then just the other card I added was one new number 1. This card is just, again, attacks are getting super fast. This can return stuff to its speed. And then it gives that thing +1 or -1. So if they lower your speed a bunch, you can add speed to it. You don't get the other ability, but that's okay. Like, it's just here as the one of to reset the speed. It's also commit, so like it's better than like the one that was in Boimer, which you had to sacrifice it, or a card that has to flip itself to do it. This is a commit, so you get this every turn. And then, yeah, from her deck, we're playing still like rule acquisition because it's a 0 diff. All this together because it's just an okay spam card. Run Idiot. This is more speed hate. It can also gain you health if you block after you use it. Family Secret's a really good card. When you check a 3, you get +1 check that's on offense or defense. This card is a very good card from the deck. Short-lived Promotion, it's basically just another draw card. It makes our hand size 1 for the turn, but essentially it's just flip draw 1 card. You don't have the difference is you don't have to play an attack, unlike Fierce Transformation, which is enhanced. You have to do that during an attack. This is the beginning of the turn, so you could have your hand a gray and then just draw another gray and just build. And then Insubordination, this card is perfectly fine. If you wanted to cut it, you can. It is a 2 low block. Our blocks aren't the best in this deck because a lot of 3s. That's why we're playing a lot of speed hate, but it is one of the better blocks. But if you were to upgrade this deck more, I could definitely see you cutting this. Alright, off to Sam. So, Sam was a little bit harder to build. I went with the second one because I think this character is actually really good. Giving all your stuff 2 speed and then having the ability to enhance step is already good as it is. But first form, if your opponent's at 8, they commit 1, you draw 1. Basically says once your opponent has built 8 foundations, you're an 8-hander for the rest of the game on your turn. So it being an 8-hander that gives everything speed is pretty good. Mothra is another one. Is like what you could compare this to. It's an 8-hander that can give speed, but this doesn't have any like downside. Doesn't have to discard a card or anything like that. The only issue is that speed that you give is tech attacks, and fun fact, tech attacks are very scarce in this game since the beginning of MHA. So MHA 2 onward, there's only like a few tech attacks, but I found a couple. Your big one that you're going to want to play, and you're going to want to put more in of if you can invest into this card, is Patrick Baby. We only have one of because it's a $5 card. But if you are going to put more money into this character, probably 3 to 4 of this card is probably good. It's probably the best tech you could be playing. But yeah, I mean, this is your game ender. Has Powerful 3, has the X3, Stun 2. It's just a really good card. Point Blank Shot. It's just another good tech card. It's Breaker 1. Once in the card pool, your stuff gets +1, or your opponent's stuff gets -2. So on your turn, you can make it to where all your stuff has +3 speed, or you can make it as speed hate. The enhance doesn't matter. It's really just here because it's a breaker that you can make into a 4 high 5, 5 high, 5 high 5 because of its own ability. This is probably the weakest tech card. especially since this is a 4-speed move, so it doesn't really go with like Sam's thing with attention to detail. But I think that's fine. It is a 6 high 4 in the deck. It lets you see your next card, and then you can draw a card potentially if you call the right thing on your opponent's side of the board. I would probably just call Foundation. It's probably the most likely to be on top of their deck. And then you're playing against like Mimic, then it's Asset probably. But yeah, so it's just a draw card. But like, man, it's hard to find like good 4-diff techs because there's just not that many. Charge Smith 2 of you're gonna play in the deck. It's a potential game ender. Neelix Cheese, powerful 2, momentum out, draw a card, discard a card. It can get a bunch of it can get potential damage. It can like discard betraying shove, become a 6 damage move. Though I think it would probably just be best to use draw a card and discard a Foundation and just play this attack as a different attack, in my personal opinion. Okie Dokie is similar to Neelix Cheese, but it has Frenzy instead of Powerful, and it gains a keyword instead of damage. So I actually like this card a little bit more because one, Frenzy is pretty good in this slower format where you're playing like this cheaper local deck. Also, the keyword thing doesn't matter in this character, but the keyword thing could matter in something else. This guy's already a tech, so you don't need to worry about that. And yeah, it's also a 2 high, so it's a good block. Actually, I think like most of your stuff's good blocks. It's just really this and this. And yeah, then the Betraying Shove is the last card from the attacks from his deck that we're playing. 3 means 6 throw. It's just a good tech throw. It's going to be doing 3 damage. We could technically give it more Unexpected Hero. This is a speed 8 card, but it also gives 3 damage. So you give 3 damage to your throw, make it 9 damage. We have Badgie. Can give it 3 damage. Can make this a real big throw to make them want to hit, want to block it, and then you can play the rest of your stuff out. But your game enders most of the time probably going to be this card, which is why I suggest getting more of this because this card is just very good. Yeah, Badgie. We're playing that card. We're playing Cerritos because, again, secret rare. Strange Energies. This card's actually insane. I think this card's very good. I'm glad that we have this, and you get to play 2 of it in this deck. So, fantastic. Foresight. It's probably the best 0-diff you could play on order that's cheap. Just get to look at the top card of your deck, and then potentially it can help you later on. If you don't need this Foundation, you can check to see if the top card of your deck is an attack. Attitude Selector. I believe the only thing this really goes with is don't do this, which is fine. Like, this is just a spam card, but like, what don't... Oh, sorry, no, I'm wrong. Neelix Cheese and Okie Dokie also work with this card. So discard a card, draw 2. We're already an 8-hander. We're going to become a 9-hander. That's pretty cool. Down adjustment. We just needed a spam Foundation in the deck, particularly a mid, because we were real high on lows when I was making this deck. So I went for a couple more mids. It's Speed Hate. It can also be Damage Pump. Don't Do This is a really good card. If you guys remember or have never seen the card Snack Time, that card said discard a card, stun 1, and that card is banned. Also, the Deadlock that was really good, but that card is banned. And then this card is basically that again, except it's on a tune, so more decks get to play it. The card's really good. Memory Upgrade, 6 check. The ability is gonna be is probably gonna be good because we're playing this version of Sam. So we get to take the first chance and be like, all right, this is technically a flash move. I will say it's a little rough because Blitz is a thing. So like, if your opponent's playing an attack that has a Blitz, they're still gonna get an ability. But, well, you know, that's the world we live in. Unexpected Hero, more Speed Hate. I don't know if the response is ever going to be like super relevant, but you could draw a card off of this. But yeah, this is mostly to give something minus 3 speed because we wanted more Speed Hate. Inkbound Quirks, also Speed Hate. You can remove and restand this. So if you're stringing, you can also make this an extra Foundation. Hacker Extraordinaire is really good. It's asset hate. It's draw a card. When you take 5 more damage, you're going to get a momentum. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about it. It's just more draw. You wanna be as big of a hander as you can, because you want to play a bunch of these, especially if you're gonna like play a okie dokie after they block a bunch and stuff like that. 5 control, defensive card. We want to protect our health. Makes their attacks harder to play. No, not much else to it. Get in, get out. We're just playing one of this. It's a unique. We get to play it because we're air. Sacrifice of your attack. If you have exactly 1 card in your card pool, clear it. It's really good. Attention to detail. After an attack is played, it's granted a speed or 3 or less. It gets +1 damage. So everything but Foresight has actually 3 or less speed, which is really nice. This has 3 speed. The Patrick Baby has 3 speed, so that means the Patrick Baby is now on extra damage. And Point Blank Shot is also a 2 speed move, so it's going to get 1 damage. So that means most of our attacks, except for this one, is going to get +2/+1 at most per attack, which is really good. When you see one of that, and then if you see multiple of this, then if you have 4 of this on the board, your stuff's getting +2/+4 per attack, and now your deck's just crazy. You're just going crazy. Power Drain. It's just in the deck. We needed the foundations. We needed to fill it up. But also, this could potentially win you the game. Each player commits 1 foundation for every 5 they have. If you are ahead in foundations and they are having a difficult time blocking you, being like, hey, commit 2 because I have 10 foundations is really good. Especially when we had commit 1 already at the beginning of the turn. And then this can be stun 2. This card can potentially win you the game. Now, it's stunning yourself is just rough, but that's what we have to deal with to get effects like this. Other self, again, we like speed resets, so this deck came with 1, so we played it. It's 2 of, and then 2 shutdown. This card is another one. I'm like, or if you want to replace this with something better, I understand. 3rd hacker and stuff like that. Completely understandable. I do think this card is good in a way. It depends on what you're playing against. Funny enough, a lot of cards have have range or have charge or have something like that. So like this comes up more than maybe you would think it does, but it's not the best card. So yeah, and then that's Sam, and we're down to Tindy. This is probably the deck I've changed the most. And that is because I made a City Rampage deck. So, Tindy, I went with number 1 for starters. After she gains health, she gets her checks +1. She makes herself lose health and gain stun 1. So, the way I look at it with this character is you have Brief Respite, you have Summon Home, you have the Dog, which gives you another check if you've gained health this turn. And then, this can also get you more health for the turn. So, you're giving a bunch of checks to your stuff. City Rampage is giving you +2. So, let's say you go this City Rampage into a massive swing. Well, now you have given you gain a health with, Brief Respite. Now your next thing has +3 speed. You gain a momentum. You get to play Spiral... not +3 speed. +3 to your check. And then you play Spiral Blast on 6. You're going to... the lowest you can check is a 6. And now you have Spiral Blast, which is going to gain you 2... and give you and your character's gonna lose 1 when you play this card, so you're gonna lose 1, gain 2, go back to max, gain 2 damage. You've given it stun 1, it will stun 1, and then you get to get a check, and then you go back, echo it. You're gonna play it on another 6. You've put the check. You can't check another 3. It's still another 6. So this card, basically what I'm saying is, the card is free. Same with Syndicate skills, because once you've lost the health on the first attack, this card is also a 5 diff. So you have 2 echo moves, 5 total in the deck, that are just free with City Rampage plus Massive Swing. Because of what your character does. Now, you do have to have a Brief Respite or a Summon Home on the board. You could be playing Best Friends, her 1 diff in there, but I felt like this was probably enough. Maybe I'm wrong. She also has an attack that also gains 2 health. And yeah, if you have TA8 on the board, get +2 to your check. But yeah, so let's talk about the rest of the deck. So yeah, Spiral Blast, probably your best attack because it gains you health. So it's gonna, synergize really well with Divana losing health to give it stun. Mass Swing, it's just to get you a free momentum if you don't have it. It's also powerful too if that matters. But it's mostly here because you can go turn 2, play Massive Swing, get a momentum. Black Ops Takedown, it's just a 5 difference in the deck. It's a throw. Pad Power, 5 diff in the deck. That's a throw. Play this, and it's basically stun 1, stun 2, because you're going to give it another stun 1, +1 to your next check. That isn't like the worst rate. Heat Ray, this is probably going to be a card you kill with, potentially. You could probably just play 1 of it. I like this card a lot, so I play 2 of it. I think this card's awesome. Gets 1 damage for every 2 cards in your discard pile with 5 or greater. Cerritos counts towards that, which is hilarious. But yeah, so you have all these and say Rampage and Cerritos to make this bigger. You're gonna get stun 1 when it comes in. Potentially a check when you gain a health. And it's pretty good. And the Syndicate Skills is the U on your deck. This card's not bad either. It's a 5 high for 6 with Echo. Technically, really, it's like a 7 high for 6 because their next check to block is going to get -2. If they don't block this, though, man, when you Echo this, they're not blocking the next one either with -4. T8, DUR, it's also really good. Your Mills one, if it's a foundation, they have -1 check if it's an attack. Or if it's anything else that's not a foundation, your stuff gets +2. So, and that's either turn, so it's really just there's no downside to this card. They either hit a foundation and the next check's bad, or you hit something else and your next block is good. And then Cerritos, say Rampage, cards 4 of, cards and crazy. We're playing Basic Training as a 0. Future Transformation to draw a card. If we get Massive Swing, that's just a free draw. Acrobatic Style, we are a character that commits. So when it's we stun them, we're going to be able to raise this card, making us be able to play more 5 diffs. Wrath Decision, we just wanted a sacrifice outlet that was giving us damage. When you put more upgrades to this deck, you could probably play something else that's giving you better damage than this, but this is just what I had at the time. Titanic Combat's probably a really good card you could play. That can give you 2 damage and also commit them another 1. Brief Respite, gain 1, get 1 to your check. It's really good. Summon Home. You do have the ability to give something 1/1. I probably will always keep this up as a way to gain health because it's just gain 1, get 1 to your check. And I think that is more important than giving a speed and damage to something, especially if that speed and damage is not winning you the game. Forward Defender Rear, Speed Hate, Buffer Time is in the deck. Your rival mills 1 card. If they mill an attack this way, you draw 2 cards, otherwise draw 1 card. So this is a momentum out that gets us more cards. And it's also Breaker, which is pretty cool. Makeshift Repair, this is just going to help us gain more health defensively. Also, your attack can be blocked and gain 3 health, but really, it's like if we're going to block with a Massive Swing, we're going to take 4. We're going to take 1 because of this card. And then the Dog, you get to play this as a 3. This card's really good because it gives you +1 to your check. And it has like a pseudo deadlock ability. It says 11 more foundations, but once they're at 11, they're in deadlock anyway. So, giving +4 to your check, meaning when you get to use this ability, you're just passing your next check. If you're not passing your attack with a +4 to it, then where's the game gone? And this is like I said, out of the 4 decks, this is the deck I changed the most, just because like 90% of her attacks are not in here. It's just her 5 discs and their UR. But I think this deck's really cool because it's a Rampage deck and she's doing nothing but gaining checks. Trying to play a little bit like Godzilla. But doesn't need a momentum to do it. But yeah, so that's the 4 decks. Hope you guys enjoyed them. I hope you guys potentially try them out, or spread it to somebody who might. And yeah, if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon, because I'm going to be recording the solo leveling deck basically immediately after this. But until then, I'll see you guys later.